Hello, hello, beautiful people. Good morning and welcome to Charlotte Uptown to the ACC tip-off. So this is a basketball media day.
Stage is set for another incredible season of ACC basketball. We've got 12 teams today, 6 teams tomorrow, and guess what? 8 hours on deck today of full, complete coverage. The season is just 28 days away. This is pretty much a rite of passage right there to go up and down this escalator.
And we are live in Charlotte, North Carolina. And welcome.
All day long and half of tomorrow. As we say hello for the very first time, so excited to be here, just 28 days away from this season, alongside former Cardinals standout Angela Taylor and former Clemson standout Kelly Graham and Kelsey Riggs Cup. It's great to be with you, and first of all, it's great to see our girl back here, fresh off of just having her second baby, and she's making time for us today.
Oh, thank you, Angela. Thanks, Kelsey. I'm so glad to be back. When the bosses were saying, "Do you want to come?" I'm like, "Yes." Can I come, please? I'm gonna get out of my house for a second. Yes, get away from that newborn life for a quick second. But also, Kels, this season, I'm so excited for this year. Look, even Taylor's dreaming having a basketball
Come on,
driveway. Kelsey.
come on.
It's time for hoops season, and we get to talk about it today.
And I love that already, right? Taylor doing some hoops with Taylor. This is the perfect time of the year. I came all the way from Boise, Idaho, and it has been awesome just landing in Charlotte, getting ready to talk hoops with you. Wonderful.
You can feel the excitement already, and you're not just going to see us here on this set. You'll see Debbie Antonelli joining us throughout the day here as well, and we have got full and complete coverage coming your way. We've got Ari Chambers standing by. She is going to be popping in and out of some of the rooms, have plenty of players with her. You're also seeing inside the photo room right now where NC State is getting their picture taken. Oh, this is serious right now. Business. We got to get that business pose in as well. And then just over our left shoulders is where the press conference room is as well. We'll be taking you inside and outside of that for all 12 teams that you will see today. Looking forward to that.
And for the women's programs attending on day one, we'll see Boston College, NC State, Stanford, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest. And later on, we'll have Duke, Florida State, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, SMU, and Virginia. This is day one.
Great storylines surrounding all of these teams, but let's go big picture first because it's been a busy off season as we are getting ready to tip things off in less than a month. A lot of returning stars. How about Hannah Hidalgo?
My favorite number one player, Hannah Hidalgo, yep. Should be on the set tomorrow.
First team all ACC players. And then we've got some new coaches as well at SMU and Georgia Tech. Adia Barnes led her alma mater, Arizona, to a Final Four. And then you've got Karen Blair, spent the last 7 at Maryland. And then we've got some international action to set things off as well. You see some games in Paris, some games in Germany. Hopefully we will not be here. Hopefully we'll be, no, I'm just kidding. I don't think we're going international, but that would be great to do. And it's always great to see those big matchups right out the gate, Angela, with some of these teams, whether they're here internationally. Those are some of the big picture storylines. What do you have your own?
Well, it's Hannah Hidalgo, right? Early on last season, she was in the running for Player of the Year. One of those point guards, when you get to postseason play, it's all about guard play, and Hannah is one of the best players that we have in this country. The ACC Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year, the first player since Monica Wright and Lindsey Harding to have that honor. She brings so much to this Notre Dame squad, and you know that once she gets the ball in her hands, there's so many things she can do. She increased her three-point percentage by 6 percentage points last year, and then when she's out in the open floor, have it difficult though. There's some teams here in the Triangle that she's going to have a tough time facing.
Definitely, Angela. I'm glad you started with Hannah Hidalgo because to me she is the headliner for this league. I think she's the best two-way player in the country, and she can prove this year if she is the overall best player in the country with Juju Watkins out, of course, for the season, which is unfortunate. You look at Sarah Strong, you look at some other great players that we have in women's hoops, but Hannah Hidalgo is at the top. She is one of the best. And this is going to be, I think, even more of a challenge, right? Because you had Olivia Miles leave, Sonia Citron went to the W and just blew up and was amazing. Kate Koval transferred. What can Notre Dame look like, and how far can Hannah Hidalgo take them? I think that's the big question. But you mentioned the Triangle. I am really excited. When we think ACC, we think triangle, we think Duke, NC State, and North Carolina. To me, those are the three best teams in the league going into the season. More specifically, I think Duke and NC State are probably going to be getting the most votes as to who's the favorite in this league, the preseason favorite. Duke returns a ton. NC State with Zoe Brooks and Zam Jones, that duo with the guard play Angela is going to be fantastic. I'm excited to see these triangle teams get going.
Yeah, Kelly, I called the first and second round at Reynolds last year. Flew into the airport in Raleigh, and there was so much energy in the atmosphere there because of what's going on in the triangle. Women's basketball is at the top of their game in the triangle, and those three teams are going to be deadly. You look at Duke and North Carolina defensively at the top of the conference, and I think this year they will be much better and more productive and efficient on the offensive end of the floor as well.
Expectations definitely high for those teams in the top 10. WSB's way too early. Is it ever too early though? To start talking about where these teams are. We'll see. NC State head coach Wes Moore at 9:45. His players Zoe and Zam at 11:45. And Kelly, you mentioned NC State and what they did last year to have a guy like Coach Moore, who has so much experience, who's taken this team last year, another 28-win season. How does that factor into what they're hoping to do again and reach it back to the postseason, one of the 8 teams that did last year?
Well, don't miss our interview with Wes Moore because he always says something outrageous. So I am really excited for that. His Southernisms, oh my gosh, it's so good.
Puts me right at home. I love it.
Absolutely. But we love Wes Moore, what he's done. He's one of the best coaches in the country. He's one of the winningest coaches in women's college basketball history. He's done a fantastic job. And we talk about rebuilding a roster. You lose Isaiah James, you lose Sanaya Rivers. But what's almost more important these days, Angela, is the retention. And they were able to keep so many good players in Raleigh. Zoe Brooks, Sam Jones stand out. A player like Tilda Trieger, Lorena Awu, I'm excited about their post play. And then also went to the portal, got Camille Pierre from Vanderbilt, which is a huge get for NC State, just massive. Duke also retaining pretty much their whole core. Did lose Alicia Econowa. I do think that's going to be a factor. They brought in some great freshmen. But that's big. When you look at the retention in this league, the teams that are going to be the favorites are really the teams that were able to keep their rosters together.
Yeah, that's such a great point, retention. When you think about NC State in particular, they lost 55% of their offensive production, but they brought back 45%. So you think about Zoe Brooks in that first round game against Vermont, she was the one that put the team on her back until some of the older players, the more veteran players, were able to get their game going. And now she is that veteran. Expect them to play really well. And then obviously adding Camille Pierre from Vanderbilt, 20 and 10, a double-double. I'm adding that to your roster. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Just one of the teams that we are excited to see this season. But let's get things going. Take you inside the press conference room in just a second. But we got to set the stage first for what you are going to see from Stanford this season. And let's take a look at what we saw last season, because of course last year was a season of change. They of course made their ACC debut, and then of course Kate Pay named the head coach after the retirement of the legendary head coach Tara Vanderveer. Now Stanford also finished the season last year 16 and 15 overall, posting a winning record for the 38th consecutive season, but they did not make the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1988 as they look to build now a second year under their head coach. And they've got some youth to hopefully help them do it. Nuno Aguera and Chloe Clardy back for the 2025-26 campaign. Also, get this, added the number 3 recruiting class in the nation. As you take a look at some of those names that are going to be able to hopefully contribute in a big way this year. Stanford expectations pretty high under their second year head coach. And right now, let's go to the podium and hear from the Cardinals.
I am so excited about our team. As you point out, we have 10 fantastic returners. We're busted in this offseason. All spring long, on the track, on the turf, on the sand, in the weight room, on the court. Our 10 returners really recommitted themselves to the Stanford way, which is working really hard, being really unselfish, so that we'll have 5 fantastic freshmen arrive on campus for summer quarter. sure that they know how the sample way of the way that we do things. So yeah, it's my mission is
Corey, from the first 15 games to the last 16 games, you doubled your production. Was it a light bulb moment? I mean, what happened there, and how do you build on that going into the season?
I think it's just like things change, things happen all the time in basketball with different teams. So just stepping into my role and really taking that on and just trying to be the best that I could be for my team. I think that's just continuing into this year, like Amy said, being a leader. My five person, they like the music, and so just really helping them, like kids and mentoring them, and just getting all of our team together. We're going to be championship this year.
Everyone's mentioned the five freshmen, and I see the smile when we say the five freshmen. Should we expect a similar style of play, or will there be adjustments with this influx of talent?
Christy, the Stanford way, we want to play up tempo, we want to play fast, we want to play what we call tag team. I think we have a lot of depth. We have a lot of different weapons out there, and just we need everyone. It's a long season. We have championship aspirations, championship goals. We know we're going to see, a lot of different styles of play, and more than anything, I'm just really happy the way people are working together and really taking on kind of the sisterhood in a good way.
Maybe we missed some games last year with the injury. Talk about that leadership piece for you. How much was standing, or you staying on the sideline and watching? How much did that help you in terms of this enhanced leadership?
Yeah, I think it gave me a different perspective for sure. Just relating to my teammates in a different way. We had a couple of other people that were out too, so we ended up working out with a group. But we did a little sisterhood there. But I think watching on the sideline is a good thing. You see things that we don't see from the play. Yeah, this is time, and I think by that leadership is being available and being healthy, so it can add to
Corey, when I talk about freshman year, give me the one freshman that right now is really fresh.
I think it's hard to say.
And now the first team is set is Stanford Cardinals, and those women's basketball players were the head coach for sure. And yeah, let's listen in once again. Last year they had finished the season with 16-15 overall, 8-10 ACC, and unfortunately they did not make it to the NCAA tournament. So the no games of the upcoming season for them, they'll take on Washington State, 16th Gonzaga, Tennessee on the 3rd of December, Washington on the 19th, December 21st, Oregon, NC State, January the 1st, on New Year's Day, North Carolina, January the 4th, Duke, January the 11th, February the 1st, they're taking on my Notre Dame Fighting Irish again as a rematch on February the 1st, 2025. So December has always been the ACC versus SEC challenge. That's going to be real fun. And up next, we're going to have a first head coach for Wake Forest. That is coming up next. We'll be right back on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere.